What's up guys, it's Cam the Man, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the best handheld systems of all time, the Game Boy Color. So the Game Boy Color was a successor to the original Game Boy released in 1989. However, there were also a couple other versions that released before the Game Boy Color and after the original Game Boy, like the Game Boy Pocket, which was smaller and supported less batteries. There was also another version called the Game Boy Light, which, as the name implies, it had a light-up screen, which was pretty cool, but it was only released in Japan. When the Game Boy Color released, it was conceived as a true successor to the original Game Boy, and for good reasons. It had its own unique designs, it supported less batteries like the Game Boy Pocket, and not to mention, it had the games in color now. Like, you can play the games in color, which was pretty cool. Let's look at its design. So as you can see, we got the Nintendo logo right here. Then up above that, we got the Game Boy Color logo right here. Up here, we got the power signal that flashes red for like the battery, I'm pretty sure. Down here, we got the D-pad, A and B buttons, start and select, my bad. Speaker, we got a headphone jack on the bottom. On the side, we got an accessory port. We got the volume jack to turn up the volume and stuff. On this side, we got the power switch. On the back, we got the cartridge slot, Game Boy Color sticker right here. Then right here, we got the battery compartment. Now let's turn it on. So as you can see, I got a game right here. This is Alleyway. Pretty sure this was a launch title for the original Game Boy. Let's pop it in. Turn it on. Yeah, you can see the colors right there. Yeah, you can see the screen. Now, one thing about the Game Boys that released in North America is that they didn't have a backlight screen, so you can only see the screens under some sort of light source. Like, you can see this screen because there's light in this room. So, yeah. That's the game. Now, one thing I do want to mention about this game cartridge right here is that it has this little cutout right here. And that usually means that this is an older game because all of the older Game Boy games had that cutout. Because when the original Game Boy came out, it had this thing connected to the power switch that allows you to not pull the games out of the Game Boy. But then they stopped producing that for the later models like the Game Boy Color. And the Game Boy Color exclusive games also had very different cartridge designs to these. They were more clear and had no cutouts on the sides. So that's my review on the Game Boy Color. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.